וזמרת ים, ויהי לי לישועה. עוזי וזמרת ים, ויהי לי לישועה. עוזי וזמרת ים, ויהי לי לישועה. עוזי וזמרת ים, ויהי לי לישועה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Mulbaum.
I'm Rabbi Eli Mulbaum, and I am so glad to welcome all of you here tonight as we welcome Shabbat. I'm happy to welcome home Rabbi Meir Feldman and to be leading alongside Cantor Vladimir Lapin. As we begin, this is an excellent moment to silence your cell phones. We begin each Shabbat service saying Shabbat Shalom, a two-word greeting, a blessing, a prayer for peace. It is wonderful to gather together in community, to be present together, to seek sanctuary here in our sanctuary, this holy space of the Rudin Chapel. When we say Shabbat Shalom, we recognize that we cannot take peace for granted. We utter it as our hopeful prayer this Shabbat, that this Sabbath day will be one filled with peace. Last week, our people's celebration of Hanukkah was not a peaceful week for the Jewish people. We placed Chanukiot, our special menorahs, in our windows to publicize the miracles our people experienced in ancient times. We offered a blessing each night as we lit our candles, acknowledging that God performed miracles, nisim, for our ancestors, bayamim hahem bazman hazeh, in those days, in this time. Hanukkah is normally a period of joyful celebrating. This year, sadly, it was marked with as many instances of violence against Jews as candles in the Chanukiah, leaving many of us feeling shaken and afraid. Following reports in the New York Times, last year New York City counted 229 anti-Semitic hate crimes through December 30th, a modern city record and a sharp rise from the 185 over the same period in 2018. In New York City, the police department announced it was increasing patrols after a surge of anti-Semitic hate crimes were reported in December. 6 anti-Semitic incidents, 5 of them assaults, happened in a 48-hour span during Hanukkah. During the holiday, a man was charged with a hate crime in the stabbing of 5 Jews with a machete in Monsey, New York, at the home of a rabbi. And a gun battle at a kosher market in Jersey City, New Jersey, left 3 people inside the store and a police officer dead. It was a brutal week of Hanukkah in the greater New York City area. But we continued lighting our candles, letting them shine brightly in our windows, proud symbols of the enduring light of our people and our traditions. What is the miracle we publicize when we light our candles for all to see? We're taught that it's that the Jews recovered a small vessel of oil from a destroyed temple, and that vessel lasted 8 days instead of 1. But think about it a different way. What if the miracle is that the Jews found a small vessel of oil, and rather than feeling defeated, they felt enough hope to light it? With that hope, they dared to dream, and so do we. We dare to dream of a world filled with peace and justice, not just for us, but for all peoples. We dare to dream of a world filled with light and compassion and love. And every week, we have a stubborn dream of a Shabbat Shalom, an enduring peace. God performed miracles for our ancestors by Amim Hahem Bazman Hazeh, in their days in our time. Let's dare to see those miracles now, to work to bring them to fruition, to turn our dreams into a reality. Tonight we gather for Shabbat, as we do each week. But this week we don't gather alone. We are honored and moved to have so many elected officials from the state of New York here with us this evening. With special gratitude to Senator Anna Kaplan, whose team and leadership have helped gather together so many of our allies tonight, we warmly welcome all of you. Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins, Senate Deputy Majority Leader Michael Gianaris, Senator Anna Kaplan, Senator John Brooks, Senator Leroy Comrie, Senator Jim Gorin, Senator John Liu, Senator Monica Martinez, Senator Shelley Mayer, Senator Jessica Ramos, Senator Toby-Ann Stavisky, and Senator Kevin Thomas. We're also welcoming Assembly members Charles Levine and Anthony Durso, and from the town of North Hempstead, our supervisor, Judy Bosworth, our receiver of taxes, Charlie Berman, our town clerk, Wayne Wink, and council members Veronica Lurvy, Marianne Dalmonte, Peter Zuckerman, our county legislator, Ellen Birnbaum, and our parks commissioner, Frank Chalufo, and anyone else who is here with us this evening whose name, for whatever reason, is not on my list. We are so happy to welcome you to Temple Beth-El of Great Neck. Your presence, yes, we're so happy to welcome them. Your presence here tonight means the world to us. We know that we are not alone, and your presence here with us as we welcome Shabbat and gather as a Jewish community helps us feel the strong support of the community beyond the walls of our own institution. We are also grateful that you're here to stand by our sides, be present with us as we pray, and help us know that we have friends and allies, people who will support us and stand with us in the face of anti-Semitism. Thank you for being here with us, for this powerful symbol of support and friendship. We do not take your presence for granted. Though we won't hear any official remarks from any of you tonight, your being here tells us all that we need to know. Your show of support says so much to us as a Jewish community, and we're grateful you're here with us as members of our congregation tonight. Tonight, may we all experience a Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful Shabbat. To bring light into this space and into our world, I'm honored to invite up Senator Anna Kaplan to light our Shabbat candles. The blessing can be found on page 2. She's going to bring a friend. Come on up.
How about your husband?
Let us
Darren.
light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
Let's light first.
Everyone join us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
We turn to page 12, the Chunaranana.
Lechu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, nari lai, lai 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 lai, nari yai lai 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 lai, letzur yishenu, yai lai 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 lai. Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. Lechu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, l'Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, nariyam, yai lai 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 lai, letzur yishenu, yai lai 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 lai. For all of the wonder in all of God's light, we rejoice. So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Lechu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, l'Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, nariyam, yai lai 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 lai, letzur yishenu, yai lai 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 lai.
We'll continue on page 13, singing from Psalm 96. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, sing unto God a new song.
Shiru
Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai baruch shemo, Bazru miyom yeshuato,
Sapru agoyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim niflotav, ki gadol Adonai umhulal meod, norahu akol Elohim, yai lai 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 yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai lai, yai lai 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 yai lai lai, yai lai 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 yai lai lai.
We'll turn to page 19, the last two lines of the Hebrew. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. May God grant strength to God's people.
Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo. Shalom. Adonai yivarech et amo. Vashalom. Adonai yivarech et amo. Vashalom. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo.
We greet Shabbat, the Sabbath bride, with Lechad Odi. This poem can be found on pages 20 and 21 in our prayer books. And we'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 as we welcome Shabbat's presence in our midst.
Lechad Odi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamichad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'litila, Lechad Odi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad Odi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh v'machshava tchila, Lechad Odi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad Odi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5, page 21. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech kumi uri, 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 shir daberi. Kevod Adonai alayich nigla, Lechad Odi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad Odi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. We greet the Sabbath bride with verse 9. If it is your custom, I invite you to rise and face the entrance as we await the arrival of Shabbat. Verse 9.
Boi b'shalom materet bala, Kam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Toch emunei kam segula. בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי come back around פני שבת נקבלה Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
In this moment of our service, we say hello to anyone watching us via live stream, and we get to wish each other a Shabbat Shalom, this blessing, this prayer for peace. So I invite you to find someone, introduce yourself, and wish a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
To you too. I do.
The nice part about Shabbat is it doesn't end with services, so everyone can continue schmoozing and greeting at our own egg with treats after services. I love what I'm seeing here, everyone. We will welcome the Shabbat angels, turning in our prayer book to page 24, and we'll hold this amazing energy and bring it with us to the Oneg after services. We'll turn to page 24 and we'll welcome the Shabbat angels.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharim, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachi Ashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachi Ashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzechem leShalom, Malachi Ashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn to page 28. Please rise if you are able for Baruch Hu.
It's warm. Should we open that door there?
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai Amevorach.
Baruch Adonai Amevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la
We pray together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרביב.
Amen.
Page 32.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך
ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה יומם ולילה.
תסיר
ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל
אדוני
Please be seated. We'll continue together on page 36.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך
ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך
למען
תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
Adonai Elohechem,
Amen.
Whenever we gather together to pray, we reach this moment in our service, which will call to mind in a moment our memories of being redeemed from Pharaoh in Egypt. In the book of Exodus, we read, "Then Moses held out his arm over the sea, and God drove back the sea with a strong east wind all that night, and turned the sea into dry ground. The waters were split, and the Israelites went into the sea on dry ground. V'hamayim lahem choma miminam umismolam. The waters formed a wall for them on their right and on their left. Imagine just for a moment, you are an ancient Israelite. You're fleeing from Pharaoh and his armies, running straight for the shores of the sea. Eventually, the waters part and you start to walk through. As we walk through together, we peer into the sea. With the walls of water on our either side, do we see creatures within? Do fish and plants float by, accompanying us on our journey into the unknown realities of freedom and safety? What an incredible moment this must have been for our ancestors. And in fact, we're commanded in every generation to read the story of our people's exodus as if it were our very own experience, as if each one of us gathered here today was personally redeemed. Of course, this narrative continues to be powerfully relevant in our own day. It seems that in each generation, our people have faced forces that seek to destroy us. We may not walk between walls of water, but we do have cherished allies and friends who stand beside us, serving as walls of support, ensuring we keep walking in safe paths. We join together in our ancient song of gratitude with Mi Chamocha on page 40.
Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh, Nohora Tehilot, Osef Nohora Tehilot, Osef Malchutecha Ubanecha Boker Yifnei Moshe Miriam Ze'eli Anu V'yameru Adonai Imlo Leolam Ba'ed Adonai Imlo Leolam Ba'ed Yai Lai Yai Lai 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 Yai Lai 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 Yai Lai Yai Lai 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 Yai Lai 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 V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
Amen.
We'll turn to page 42 and offer Hashkivenu, another prayer for peace.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu
page 44.
Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, lai 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 lai. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
The Amidah begins on page 46. Please rise.
Adonai שפתי תפתח
ופי יגיד תהילתך.
Adonai, open up my lips
that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר, מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה, אדוני מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי כל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח מוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל
ברחמים רבים,
סומך נופלים ורופא חולים,
ומתיר אסורים,
ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה,
ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך
אתה אדוני
מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש, האל הקדוש.
We'll continue privately with the Amidah, moving through page 62 of our prayer books. You may remain standing or be seated according to your custom and your comfort.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, יעשה שלום עלינו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל, ועל כל, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל, ועל כל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן, ואמרו amen. We ask for peace on earth, and we say amen. ואמרו amen, ואמרו amen. We raise our voice as one, and we say amen.
Feeling the strength of being here in community, we think of those who are in need of healing. And if you're thinking of someone this Shabbat, someone who's in need of physical healing or spiritual healing, we invite you to share their name with us as we come down the aisle.
prayer for healing is on page 253. Please join with us. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mekor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imoteinu mekor habracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Can you not hear me? Can you hear me? No. No wonder. It's not on. Shabbat Shalom. Is that better? Before I begin, I want to thank you, Anna, for having the inspiration, the vision, the perseverance to make all of this happen. All of you elected representatives, it's a privilege to have you in our spiritual home. Your presence, your souls help God's presence rest here and radiate here. I hope whatever your religion is, you realize that for us, your presence does wonders for bringing God's presence into our place of worship. I want to thank my colleague, teacher, friend, Rabbi Molbaum, for your work to make this happen as well. It's a special thing. I just arrived from Israel last night, and I realized actually, seeing you all, that being here in America as a Jew feels different than being in Israel. Being here, I feel the weight and the tragedy, the horror of what's happened here, honestly, in a different way than I felt it there. It's, of course, amazing for me and Tara to go to Israel and see our son, who's a student, and building a life there. It was amazing for me to spend 12 days with a number of Beth-El families experiencing Israel together. And it's a privilege and a blessing to be home. 24 hours ago, I said I arrived from Israel. About 72 hours ago, I was in Yad Vashem. Yad Vashem being the Jewish people's primary Holocaust memorial in Jerusalem. And I would say, I want to start off by emphasizing that our question tonight is not why us? It's not why us. Why is there anti-Semitism? Why is there hatred towards us? I don't think that's the question. It's a simpler question, which is, what is this crazy evil thing? What is this abnormal force of nature that we know to be anti-Semitism? And I hope that all of you, or many of you, have this yellow sheet of paper, because I want to begin by using this image as a way to help us answer the question, what is this thing, anti-Semitism? This image is an image of an insect or a parasite. This hangs in Yad Vashem. fairly early on in the Memorial Museum. And I think that this bizarre image helps to answer the question. It's an insect that is meant to be walked on, but it's also an insect that seems to rule the world. It sits on top of the world. The eyes of this insect, the right eye has a dollar bill on it, and the left eye has the hammer and sickle. On the right eye, of course, we're capitalists. On the left eye, we're rabid communists. It's a harmless insect that crawls upon the earth, but a pointy-toothed, vicious giant as well. It's a non-human, quote, anti-man. Those were Hitler's words. It's also a big-nosed human, a Jew. It's so tiny, this insect can be easily crushed by the foot, and so massive it can conquer most of the world. An advocate for communism, a lover of capitalism. They keep totally separate from society, and they penetrate deep into every corner of society. Anti-Semitism, through the lens of this image, is nothing more than a series of contradictions. That, in a way, is tonight's answer to the question, what's the essence, the principal characteristic of anti-Semitism? It's an impossible series of contradictions. The million-dollar question is, what's our response? What do we do? How do we confront, how do we fight this mountain, this scourge of contradictions? There are many great Jewish insights and Jewish teachers who have wisdom on this subject. Tonight, I want to rely largely upon one idea, one strategy of a teacher of mine and others in this room, I believe. His name is Yossi Klein Halevi. He's a scholar at the Hartman Institute in Jerusalem. I happened by coincidence to see Yossi at Yad Vashem 72 hours ago. Yossi has analyzed what just happened in the recent elections in the United Kingdom, and I think it's a helpful way of thinking about this subject. His particular focus was how the traditionally left-leaning Jewish community in England largely rejected the Labour Party's candidate Jeremy Corbyn. And Yossi Klein Halevi says this: the Jewish pushback against Corbynism did multiple things. It united British Jewry, isolated the far-left extremists, created alliances with prominent non-Jews, and it helped convince many non-Jewish voters that a Prime Minister, Corbyn, would be toxic for the UK precisely because he would be toxic for its Jews. Yossi continues, whether consciously or not, British Jewry adopted the playbook developed a generation ago by the international protest movement to free Soviet Jewry, which was the diaspora's most successful war ever against anti-Semitism. So the principles that guided the Soviet Jewry movement, says Yossi Klein Halevi, have also animated British Jewry's campaign against Jeremy Corbyn, and Halevi identifies 4 principles. And I've turned these 4 principles into an acronym, although I have not asked Yossi Klein Halevi about this. The acronym is HUSH. HUSH, H-U-S-H, represents or identifies these 4 principles. HUSH is honesty, unity, solidarity, and hope. So let's begin with honesty. The first of the 4 principles that Yossi Klein Halevi sets forth. We must call out anti-Semitism whenever we see it, wherever it arises. We must reveal it for what it is. Regularly, it is a series of horrific, insane contradictions. Define the threat, says Yossi Klein Halevi. Call it out. Reveal it for what it is. It's important, crucial to identify its ideological source, no matter left or right, white nationalist, African American, Islamic fundamentalist. Call it out. Define the threat. And at the same time that we call it out and reveal it for what it is, it's important to recognize that anti-Semitism today is so different from other moments in history. Three primary differences. First, as Rabbi Jonathan Sachs identifies, anti-Semitism today is largely committed by individuals, by extremist individuals, unstable people. The term lone wolf has entered our lexicon quite recently. Second, the second difference, prior periods of anti-Semitism have been backed explicitly and directly by elected officials. Today, there are so many extraordinary elected public officials, enlightened elected leaders who are out front, calling it out, revealing anti-Semitism for what it is, fighting strenuously against it. So many of you are here tonight. You define this extraordinarily important distinction between anti-Semitism today and in prior generations. Rabbi Malbaum identified you earlier. President Ron Epstein will likely do that again. You are heroes as well. We are incredibly grateful to you. You make today look very different from 1933 or all other anti-Semitic moments in history. There's a third and final difference between today's anti-Semitism and the anti-Semitism of the past, and that is simply the state of Israel. We cannot underestimate how significant this is as a practical matter and in the emotional psyche of Jews who are alive today. As Yair Lapid of the Kachol Levan party recently wrote, the Blue and White Party, Jews are done being afraid. We'll fight back in the legal arena, the press, and if we need to use physical force, the state of Israel knows how to do that. And I want to quote Meir Dagan, former Mossad director. Mossad is the CIA of Israel. He set the tone for his tenure by the way he decorated his office. On the wall of his modest Tel Aviv office was a black and white picture of an old, bearded Jewish man. A Jewish man wearing a prayer shawl, a talit, as he kneels in front of two Nazi soldiers. One soldier has a stick in his hand. The other is carrying a rifle slung over his shoulder. Look at this picture, Dagan would tell his visitors to his office. This man kneeling down before the Nazis was my grandfather, just before he was murdered. I look at this picture every day and promise the Holocaust will never happen again. So, step one to Yossi Klein Halevi's 4-step strategy, hush. Step one is honesty. Call it out. Whenever, wherever it occurs, reveal it for what it is. A series of horrific contradictions. Step two of hush. You is unity. Jewish unity. We Jews, we must be united. I had the opportunity last Motzei Shabbat, last Saturday night in Jerusalem, to hear Avram Infeld, one of the masterminds of Birthright. We are and will never be uniform, says Avram Infeld. We do so many things so differently from one another, we Jews. Our practices, our beliefs, our traditions are absolutely not uniform. But we must learn to be united. Can we be united even though we're not uniform? This question goes way back, all the way for sure to this week's Torah portion. In our Parsha Vayigash, Joseph, the son of Jacob, is the man who rules Egypt. He's the functional head of Egypt, appointed by the Pharaoh. And in our parsha, Joseph begins to transform his relationships with his brothers. Remember why and how our family went down to Egypt? Why was Joseph in Egypt? How did he and how did we get to Egypt? Crucial to remember. Joseph went to Egypt because he was sold into slavery. His brothers threw him into a pit. The Ishmaelites found him and sold him into slavery. Joseph was thrown into a pit. He found himself in a pit because of his brothers, because of the hatred of his brothers toward him. He was enslaved, Joseph, because of his brothers. We are talking about our own Jewish family. Our slavery to the Egyptians, our enslavement for hundreds of years, begins with the hatred within our family. Vayisneu oto v'lo yochlu dabro l'shalom. They hated him so much, they could not speak even one friendly word with him. That was 2 weeks ago. This past week, we learned this about our Jewish family. The brothers said to one another, "Here comes the dreamer. Come now, let's kill him." That's us, our family. We are talking about killing our own brother. It's a horror. And we're obsessed with anti-Semitism, with other people hating us. There's a very deep problem in our own home. So the question is, can we be united even though not uniform? Can we be united even though we've treated each other terribly? And the beauty, the majesty, the mystery of Joseph in this week's Parsha. Vayomer Yosef el Echav. Ani Yosef, ha'od avichai? With tears in his eyes. Yosef says, "I am Joseph, your brother. Is our father alive? Is Abba alive?" Joseph remembers that we're a family. He longs for family. He longs for his dad. Is our father alive? We cannot survive anti-Semitism if we're not united as a family. We must learn to stand in unity even though we do not practice our Judaism with uniformity. Hush. First, it's honesty. Second, it's unity. And now third, solidarity. We have enemies, lots of enemies. But we have many friends, very many friends. And in the words of Rabbi Sachs, our friends are many and strong. As Rabbi Hillel teaches in the Mishnah, Im ein ani li, mi li, u'kshe'ani la'atzmi, mani. If I am not for me, who will be for me? But when I am for myself alone, who or what am I? If not now, when? The natural response to hatred and hurt is to turn inward, to insulate oneself, to block oneself off from the outside world. But that's not the thing to do. In times of need, it is critical to be for oneself, but also to be for others, to build with others, to seek help from others. Thank you. In fulfilling this third principle, solidarity, I want to share 2 notes I received during Hanukkah. I was in Jerusalem, we were. First, a note I received from Sheikh Ibed Wali of the Hillside Islamic Center. Shalom, Rabbi. My heart is heavy due to the senseless crimes that seems to never end. It's so painful to learn of the hate crime that took place during a Hanukkah celebration at a rabbi's Monsey home. Our sacred faiths are under attack in the safety of our homes. May God make it easy for the family and all the blessed Jewish brothers and sisters affected by this act of terror. May God grant us all strength to unite and preserve through these trying times. Please let me know if there is anything I and our community at the Hillside Islamic Center can do to help ease the pain. Second, from Reverend Patrick Dugan, the Congregational Church of South Hempstead. My brother Mayor, I just wanted you to know that our prayers are with you, your congregation, and all of our Jewish brothers and sisters during this Hanukkah season, which has been fraught with tragedy. My heart weeps with you today as Jews, especially in this region, are forced to deal with hatred and violence during the Festival of Lights. We pray with you today for peace and stand with you in love against all that is not if God. I love you, my friend. He continues, history has always been steps forward and some steps backward. We who love freedom and human dignity too often faint in times like these when hatred, greed, and small-mindedness rule the day. But Mayor, it is leaders like you who keep us in the fight for love and peace. That is why the celebration of light is so important. Light does not press or manipulate to have its way. It just lights. And by being light, just by being light itself, darkness has no choice but to recede. That is what we must do. We must not faint in letting our light, our love shine. And though it may seem very dark right now, darkness shall not prevail. You and I and Ibad and so many others, thousands upon millions, believe and know this. God is not through with us yet. Close quote. Ibad and Patrick, they're not here physically, but you all help us know that solidarity is the work of God. Hush. Honesty, unity, solidarity, and now finally, H again is for hope. I return to Yossi Klein Halevi, who wrote this. Dark times sometimes cause us to lose our hope. American Jews are losing the ability to listen to each other's deepest anxieties. They are bitterly divided about who qualifies as an ally. The struggle against anti-Semitism can bring out fear, divisiveness, demoralization, insularity, delusional thinking, and emphasis on lesser threats while downplaying greater ones. But facing a profound threat can also summon the Jewish people's most noble qualities: courage and creativity and communal solidarity. Close quote. Yossi, I think you are right. Sometimes we resort to the opposite of hush: dishonesty and disunity, separation and hopelessness. But big moments can sometimes inspire us to be bigger than ourselves. Big moments can help us summon what is great within us. Maybe even to imagine ourselves not as parasites or insects standing upon the world, but as humble individuals and a humble people with the passion and potential to bring more light to the world, to help us all have more peace and purpose and prosperity. And so I conclude with this. Hush. Let us call out the cruel and cowardly voice of confusion and contradiction. Hush. Let unity grow without uniformity. Let solidarity rise above selfishness. And finally, hush. Forbidden is despair and defeat, and mandatory is hope and optimism. Ken Yihiratzon. Shabbat Shalom. Let us rise for Aleinu on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שכונת השמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומשב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Whenever we gather, we pause to dwell in sacred memory. And if I read the name of a loved one you're here remembering this Shabbat, I'll invite you to rise and remain standing. This week, we're in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days for Elliot Bronstein, Shabtai Ben Yosef, and David Harrison Dawn. A period of Shloshim, the first 30 days for Leslie Barshop, Carol Burstein, Theodore Cohen, Zena Solks Freeman, and Arthur Michelson. And this Shabbat, our congregational families are commemorating the yahrzeits of Samuel Abrams, Benjamin Cooper, Joseph Feldman, Lynn Halperin, William Halperin, Victor Himber, Judy Hirsch, Sidney Nauer, Robert Klein, Elaine Klein, Mort Lubert, Bertram D. Plain, Jack Plotsky, Harry Smolowitz, Morris Strackman, Rose Strackman, Henry Sussman, Bess Weiner, Harrison Weiss Horowitz, and Arlene Zucker. Are there any other names anyone is remembering tonight for Kaddish? Zichronam livracha, we pray their memories always be for a blessing. We turn now to page 294 in our prayer books, and if it's your custom to rise, I invite you to do so as we recite Kaddish Yatom, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudasha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to the world. And together we'll say, Amen. Please be seated unless you are our illustrious president, Ron Epstein, who has some greetings and probably some announcements for us this Shabbat. It's a formal event.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you to our terrific clergy team. Welcome home, Mayor. It's so good to have you home, my brother. Thank you, Ellie, Rabbi Mobaum, for framing so beautifully the meaning, the deep meaning of tonight's service. And thank you, Rabbi Feldman, for digging deep into it and giving us some really true insights. You might see some similar themes in my brief remarks this evening. And of course, thanks to Cantor Lappin for his incredibly uplifting voice. It is a spiritual experience to listen to Cantor Lappin on a weekly basis. And thanks to Shai Kedmi, as always, for his musical inspiration. Thank you so much, Shai. Also, warm greetings to our honored guest this evening. It is quite a statement to have all of you here in unity and solidarity. It is truly, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all for being here. To the congregation, good evening, Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to share with you some recent statistics, and Rabbi Molbaum briefly, in her opening remarks, alluded to them. This is an official recap of data published by the NYPD, New York Police Department, on hate crimes for the period of the year closing of 2019. Anti-Jehovah's Witness crimes, 1. Anti-physical disability hate crimes, 1. Anti-multiracial groups, I'm not exactly sure how that's defined, but 1. Anti-Buddhist, 2. Anti-Asian, 3. Anti-Catholic, 4. Anti-Hispanic, 5. Anti-Arab, 5. Anti-other ethnicity, again, I'm not sure how that's defined, but that number was 8. Anti-Muslim, 20. Anti-white, 33. Anti-black, 39. Anti-LBGT, 61. An appalling 206. Now, I think I know you know where I'm going with this. There's another group that's not mentioned. Anti-Jewish, 229. Now, to be clear, these are not general crimes. These are only specifically crimes identified as hate crimes. And I reiterate that this does not include the wave of anti-Semitic attacks that we've witnessed this past month alone in parts of the tri-state area beyond the 5 boroughs, in Jersey City and in Muncie. To be clear, also, in no way am I diminishing the importance of any of the hate crimes committed against the various aforementioned groups. They are all abhorrent. But with anti-Semitic hate crimes outpacing the combined totals of all other groups, and with that pace now seemingly accelerating, it is quite clear we are dealing with a unique and unacceptable set of circumstances. To a large extent, and this speaks to your point of unity, Mayor, it has been the visible Hasidic community that has largely been the focus of many of these recent attacks. But let us not be lulled into complacency. We may somehow seem or feel less visible, but I assure you that we are no less vulnerable. We as a people, all of us from every denomination, are in this together. The ancient scourge of Semitism is sadly once again on the rise around the world, around the nation, and indeed just around the corner. This cancer is growing in American institutions and in American politics. It has made its way to college campuses and into various aspects of American culture, all too often thinly veiled as anti-Israel sentiment. But let us make no mistake as to what it actually is. Anti-Semitism is being mainstreamed, and indeed there are strong voices against it. But at times, it seems that accountability for those who harbor or express anti-Semitic viewpoints is at best anemic. We see it, in fact, in the very halls of government, being openly expressed by prominent members of the United States Congress and emanating from all sides of the political spectrum. In fact, if there is one thing that the extreme left and the extreme right can come to terms on, it is their disdain that they hold for the Jewish people. So it is with great gratitude that we welcome our political guests here this evening. It is indeed a remarkable statement to have you all here. Your presence and support here is incredibly appreciated. Along with that gratitude, we also welcome you here with great hope. Hope that you will continue to seek out accountability for public officials who promote such views no matter the political party that they represent. Hope that you will seek to establish appropriate legislation designed to combat the spread of this growing anti-Semitic culture, and hope that you will continue to work to close current legal loopholes that ensure that local municipalities enforce and prosecute these crimes to the full extent of the law. And I'm confident that the folks here today are on that page. It is with the same gratitude and hope that we welcome all of you, the Beth-El family. Grateful for your commitment, your sense of purpose, and your sense of urgency. During these times, it indeed can be a natural inclination to turn inward. Beth-El leadership and administration are continually assessing and strengthening our security protocols. We are working closely with local law enforcement. We've engaged with a first-rate Israeli-owned security firm, and we've invested tens of thousands of dollars in facility upgrades. Some are visible, some not very visible. The safety of our temple family is always our top priority. I'm so very proud to see the Beth-El community undeterred, as engaged as ever. This community doesn't shy away. Rather, we come together. It is inspiring for me to lead such a congregation. The refrain, "Never Again," isn't only about remembrance. It is also about action. Together as a congregation, hand in hand with the broader Jewish community here in Great Neck, in New York, in the nation, and throughout the world, let us all be vigilant and vocal, united and proud in the face of this renewed threat upon us. For those interested, this Sunday, January 5th, presents one such opportunity to unite. The No Hate, No Fear Solidarity March, organized jointly by the UJA Federation, the JCRC, the ADL, the AJC, and the New York Board of Rabbis. An 11 a.m. start at Foley Square in Lower Manhattan. The march will continue over the Brooklyn Bridge into Brooklyn. It's a great opportunity for those that have the time and the desire to join together. With that, a couple of important announcements. First of all, I want to thank our ushers, our greeters this evening, Judy and Elliot Rosenzweig, Gloria Landsberg, with an assist from Howard Herman. Thank you very much, Howard. Tomorrow morning, Torah study at 9:15 a.m., Shabbat morning service at 10:30 a.m., and we have some upcoming events. Along with the march on Sunday, January 5th, here in the temple, the Brotherhood Bible Breakfast welcomes all to join Rabbi Molbaum and Cantor Lappin, 9:15 a.m. Discussion begins at 10 a.m. Monday, January 20th. First of all, Friday night, January 17th, our annual Dr. Martin Luther King Erev Shabbat service. Our guest speaker will be Wade Norwood. Wade is a member at large of the New York State Board of Regents and Chief Executive Officer of Common Ground Health. It should be a wonderful evening as we celebrate with music and we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. King. On Monday, January 20th, our Martin Luther King celebration continues. You come and join us here for a recycling tour of the Sims Municipal Recycling Center, a great opportunity to serve in our community. And Saturday, on a lighter note, Saturday, February 1st, Comedy Night, our joint event with Temple Israel down the road. I want to make note of our bakers, our very talented bakers. Roberta Lulov, Linda Diamond, Ronit Pearl, Cheryl Silverstein, Donna Ganzer, Martha Hirsch, Karen Hirsch Romero, Aaron Romero, and Debbie Sutton. They are a talented core of bakers. We invite you all to come downstairs and join us for Kiddush. While the congregation is making its way down there, I would ask that our honored guests remain here in the chapel. We are going to take a photo together. So put on your smiles. And then, of course, we would invite you to join the rest of the congregation downstairs. To everyone, Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful, happy weekend.
Before we rise for whatever's next, I want to acknowledge someone who is not an elected official, Jonathan Greenblatt, who heads the Anti-Defamation League, is a resident, a friend of all of ours here in Great Neck, who was one of our nation's most passionate and determined and trusted and dedicated fighters of hatred and anti-Semitism. Jonathan, it's a privilege and pleasure to have you with us tonight.
And one more note of gratitude to our Executive Director, Stuart Botwinick, who's here with his son. We're so thankful for you and our entire staff. Thank you for helping get us ready for this Shabbat and all things, Stu. Thank you, Stu. So we started with a blessing of peace, Shabbat Shalom. We're going to end this evening singing Oseh Shalom. I want to invite everyone to rise, and if you feel comfortable, make a connection with somebody near you. And we'll sing this closing song before we continue on our Shabbat ways.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom.
If all of the so folks, if you can make your way up here.